The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. How are you? Don't answer, I can't hear you. This is a cable thing where it's a television show and you can't speak to me, but I can speak to you. Of course, you don't have to listen, but, it's a one-way thing. Thanks for being here. My name is Ron Van Dam, and I live on the planet. I live on this planet, and I've been doing radio for over 30 years. And once a week, I come into this studio, and I do a thing which is similar to what I do every weekday on the syndicated radio, internet radio thing, only on the syndicated radio, internet radio thing, I have guests toward the end of the program. I monologue for 20 minutes, and then I have a guest for 10 minutes. Here, I'm not going to bring guests in here because that's a lot. That's just a lot. So I just talk for 30 minutes. I know, it's not really entertaining, but compared to the other shows, seriously? So anyway, how are you? Good to be with you. Today, an interesting program. I title it, and this was my show on the radio today. The title of the show was My Toilet is Broken, Try the Salmon. And I know that sounds a little strange. How do the two connect? And if they do, that's disgusting. But it's what the show's about. Last week, I actually went to the bathroom. Thank you so much. Thank you for your cards and letters and all your applause. I went to the bathroom, as I frequently do, and I went to flush the toilet, which I did, and toilet water, was shooting out of the side of the toilet. Like when you go to the circus and they have the circus clowns and they're squirting each other with the seltzer bottles. Yeah, I know. It was like that. It was like shooting out of the side of the toilet. And I thought, whoa, do I have the trick toilet here? And then I realized there's got to be a leak at the bottom of the bowl and that sprays when I flush the toilet. So I immediately panicked. And I don't know why, but my toilet was broken, is what the point was. Now, do I only have one toilet in my abode? No, I have more than one toilet. And even though I have another toilet that I could use in my abode, it was the concept that I am down to one toilet. If I have a couple of toilets, I'm good. Now I'm down to one. Uh-oh, panic. What if something happens to the one that's working? Oh no, then I'm out of toilet. What do I do? So I panicked, and I realized I am basically pathetic because here there are wars going on all over the globe, and people are upset and angry, and they're still divided, really even more than ever, and it's just, and the world's just really kind of falling apart, to be honest with you. And here I am running around yelling and screaming, my toilet's broken. It's just, I don't know. I felt very bad for myself, and at the same time, I could personally understand what was going on. So I got on the phone, because I still have a telephone, and I called my plumber, Joe. Now, I realized, I need specialists in my life because I do it yourself. I'm great for changing a light bulb. My God, if a light bulb burns out or something or isn't working in a light fixture, I'm on it. I'm on it immediately. I have a collection of standby bulbs, and I will immediately go to the standby bulb package, and I will screw out the bad bulb and screw in the good. So I am a do-it-yourself kind of guy. if my leaves in the fall are all over the place, I will blow them myself because I have a leaf blower. Now, it doesn't work as well as the professional leaf blowers, but I have some amount of capability there too. So I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy. But beyond those two things, the light bulbs and the leaves, I'm lost. I got to tell you, I got to call somebody in. So I called my plumber, Joe. And I've used Joe before because I had sink problems. It's kind of obvious, when people come up to me and go, Ron, you got sink problems. I know. It's obvious, isn't it? Yeah, I can see it. So I've used Joe before, and he does a wonderful job. And nicest guy in the world. I mean, I assume. I don't know every guy in the world. There's a lot of people on this planet, and a little less than half are males. So I don't know them all. So I can't say that Joe is the nicest guy in the world, or even the nicest plumber, but that's my assumption, and I'm probably within the higher percentage of realm of possibility there. So I called Joe, and he is being nice. He says, yeah, I'll be out there in 2 days. Can you wait 2 days? Yeah, I got another toilet, Joe, but what if that one goes? So anyway, so he says, 2 days I'll be out there, 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning comes on Tuesday. And I spend Sunday and Monday just looking forward to Tuesday when my toilet will hopefully be fixed. Will it have to be replaced? Is it totally broken? Or is it something that can be repaired on the spot? Who knows? It's a mystery. Joe shows up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he fixes my toilet. Didn't have to be replaced. He bolted it down differently or something. I don't know. Something was leaking, and he meticulously flushed the toilet like 20 times to make sure that sucker ain't gonna leak. And then he came up to me and he said, Ron, and it was like getting the test results back. Am I gonna live? How's the toilet? How's my boy? How's my toilet? Joe, give it to me straight, Joe. Is my toilet okay? Or is it gone? Ron, your toilet is fixed. Oh, Joe, you're a miracle worker, my God. And I kissed him, and I don't know if I should have gone that far, but I think he understood that was not really, I was not in my right mind at that point. Then I immediately went to my desk drawer. I have an office in my home, and I got out a cigar and I started smoking. I gave Joe a cigar, and he said, "What this was for? You only give out cigars when you have babies." And I said, "That's the same feeling. This is the same feeling. I got my baby back. I got my baby back ribs." So I thanked Joe, and Joe said, "Ron, just keep an eye on it." And I said, "Joe, I'll be keeping more than an eye on my toilet, if you know what I mean, Joe." I don't think he did, but anyway. Don't make tiny sarcastic jokes to people that they won't get anyway. What's the point? But I had to say it. Because he said, just make sure you keep an eye on your toilet. What am I supposed to do? Just stand there and not respond to that? That's like a gimme line, Won't have my eye on it, Joe, but I'll have something else on that toilet, if you know what I mean. Thanks for fixing it. Thanks. You have a good day. So my toilet is fixed, and I felt so good. All of a sudden, it's like it was raining, and then Joe fixed my toilet, and the sun came out, and life was glorious again. I think I even got dressed quickly. Not that I wasn't dressed when Joe was there, but I was still in my in-home clothes, if you know what I mean. I got dressed up. I actually put real pants on, and I went outside, and I actually walked down the street and clicked my heels a few times. And I remember when Joe's plumbing truck departed from my driveway after he had serviced me. I watched Joe's truck backed out of my driveway and then pull away down the street. And, of course, as the truck got further from my house, it got smaller and smaller. That's a perspective visual kind of thing. And I actually cried. I did. There was some music in the background somehow. Alexa just throws in music every once in a while. And there was a tear that came out of my eye and dripped down the side of my nose and my nostril and upon my breast. And I and I actually shed a tear as that truck pulled away. Thank you, Joe. You're the greatest plumber in the world, Joe. And that was the end of it. So I decided to celebrate. I felt like I wanted to celebrate. So I went to my favorite restaurant, and I wanted to celebrate. And I had, I had a little drink. Okay, fine, stop it. All right, don't judge me. I was just feeling so good. I was like, I got 2 toilets again. Is this the kind of thing you watch all the time on cable? Would you rather that I do a crocheting show or flower arrangements or talk about education locally? And would you rather watch a school committee meeting? Is that more exciting for you? What would you you want to hear about real estate or something? What do you want? What do you want? So I go to this restaurant / bar, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just relaxing. And there's a guy and his wife, apparently. I hope it was his wife, if you know what I mean. Sitting about 2-3 seats away from me, but I could hear their conversation. And we're talking real loud, but I could hear their conversation. And the waitress, yeah, she's a waitress. I should say server, but I think we're getting away from that now. If you're a female, you're a waitress. If you're a male, you're a waiter. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's fine. So I'm going to use that terminology right now. So the waitress goes up to the guy and says, "Would you like to order?" And he says, and I'll quote, he says, "I'll try the salmon." And I felt like interjecting because that's what I usually do, but I didn't. And the waitress said, "Okay," and she walked away. And I thought, what? You're going to try the salmon? How pretentious of you! You're ordering the salmon. You don't try it. You don't try it like she's going to come out with a little tiny piece of salmon. Here, you want to try it? No, you don't say, "I'll try the salmon." You're ordering the salmon. Stop being so hesitant about it. If you want the salmon, get the salmon. Don't want salmon, don't get salmon. But don't just try. You can't try it. Now, the only thing you can try in a restaurant or at a bar would be like, do you enjoy it? We have a Malbec that is wonderful from Argentina. Okay. Would you like a little sip of that and see if you like it? Okay, I'll try that. And then you can take a sip, and if you like it, the waitress or the waiter will come back and fill your glass, and job is done. We don't do that with salmon. I'll try the salmon. Hey, here you go. Here, I'll put it in your mouth. Chew it. Do you like it? Yeah, so, all right. All right, I'll come out with the full salmon then. Another thing people say when they're ordering, which is an odd way of ordering, and I don't know why we beat around the bush with this, but some people say, "I would like to order the salmon." Okay, go on. I would like to order the salmon, please. Okay, you can do it. Say, "I want to order the salmon." I want to order the salmon. Okay, you can do it if you want. You want to order it? Then go ahead and do it. I'm ordering the salmon. That's what we want to hear. I will have the salmon. Okay. I would like to order it, but I want to order it, but don't do that. Don't. Why with food and ordering are we so tentative about it? It's kind of strange, as far as I'm concerned. I don't order like that. Ron, what would you like? I'm going to have the salmon. Oh, you're going to have it, all right. You're demanding that I get you the salmon. I'm ordering that at this time. Get the salmon for me and bring it unto me. Bring it unto me, and come with all the trimmings. I want to order it. Oh, God. Stop it. Stop it. Sometimes the customer will actually ask the server if something is good. Like, the salmon looks interesting. Yes, it's a very interesting looking salmon. It only has half a head. It's very interesting, but this is the salmon that we have. Whoa, wow, okay. Let me ask you, is the salmon good? Is the salmon good? No, it sucks. We put a lot of sucky items on the menu, and if you order the wrong one, you ain't going to like it much. Is the salmon good? No, it's horrible. Okay, forget that. I wanted to order the salmon. No, don't even play with me. Why are you asking them if anything's good? They'll always say, oh, the salmon, I have it all the time here. And, you get the impression that these servers, during the course of the day or as soon as they get off the clock, they're in the kitchen eating this stuff. It doesn't work like that, I don't believe. How's the pulled pork sandwich? I wouldn't go there. No, they don't answer. They say the pulled pork sandwich, that is incredible. I have that every day here, and I shouldn't because I shouldn't, but I do because that pulled pork sandwich, that isn't. They pull that pork like that pork hasn't been pulled like that in a couple of years, man. They're pulling that pork. And they're pulling it nice. Another thing that the servers, the waiters and waitresses do, and I don't know if they do it on purpose or not. You order something, and then you're eating the salmon, and you put the fork full of salmon in your mouth, and you start chewing the salmon. It's at that exact time that the server comes up to you and says, "How's your lunch? How's it doing? How you like it? How's the salmon?" I got it. Hold on. You got me in bad time. Why do they do that? Are they like hanging out around the corner? All right, Betty, watch this. As soon as he puts the salmon in his mouth, let's run up to him and ask him how it is. It's like a game for them. But I guess, if I worked all day in a restaurant, I'd want to play games with the customers too at their expense. Why not? Makes sense. My grandfather, did you ask me about my grandfather? Oh, you did. Okay. My grandfather, he used to do something so embarrassingly annoying to me when I was a child. My grandfather and grandmother would take us out to dinner sometimes, and we would go to the restaurant. We'd sit there, and my grandfather would never be able to decide what to order. He'd look at the menu, but then after looking at the menu, his head would pop up, and he would start looking around the restaurant at the other patrons, the other people at the tables. And his head would actually raise up, like if he had another like maybe 6 inches of height, he could see over everybody and see what they're eating. He would go like this. And that was embarrassing in itself. But then he would actually get up from the table. Ooh, I guess it gives me the shakes even now. He would get up from the table and walk over to another table where he saw some interesting looking food. He would actually get up and walk over there. Now, he was a grandfather, so you can get away with a lot of stuff when you're older. If you were 20 years old and you did that, they'd have you arrested. But when you're a grandfather or grandmother, they cut you a lot of slack. Oh, God, tons of slacks. So he walks over to the table, and without introducing himself, or he doesn't even say, "Excuse me," he walks up to them, and he stands next to these complete strangers sitting at the table and says, "What is that you're eating? It looks very good." And this incredible fear of being slaughtered comes over the strange patron. But they turn around and they go, "Oh, that's the salmon. Is it good?" "It's good. Thank you." And he'd turn around, go back to the table, and we'd say, what are you doing? Why, Grandpa, why are you doing that?" "Oh, he's having the salmon. It looked really good." And then the waitress would come over. Can I help you? Sir, what are you going to have?" "All of the pulled pork, please." It was an incredible journey that I took as a child. And all of that is true. Everything I said is true. I didn't make anything up at all, kind of. I embellished a bit, of course. But most of it is true, and I think you agree with me. Maybe you don't. I don't really care. I have trouble tipping. I never know what to tip. I tip a lot. Not a lot. I mean, I tip in a very high percentage. And I do that because I worked when I was young. I think I was maybe 18 years old, 19 years old, 18 or something. I'm not lying. I was a short order chef at the first Broadway Joe Namath's in Times Square in New York City. I'll tell you this story, but because it happened so long ago, no one's going to arrest me for this. I wanted a job. Joe Namath was quarterback for the New York Jets. I don't know if he had just retired or if he was still a quarterback or something, or in his twilight years. Twilight years in football is like 25 years old or something. But Broadway Joe Namath, that's what they called him, that was his nickname, decided he was going to open up a chain of fast food burger places. And his first one was in Times Square in New York City. I lived in New York at the time. I needed a job. So I saw this in the paper. In those days, they had things called newspapers. It was the only way you could find a job. You go to the newspaper and look at the help wanted ads. I know you kids don't understand what I'm talking about. And I saw this short order chef, grill hamburgers, Broadway Joe Namath's opening. And I applied for it. And they asked me, and I was very tall for my age and very mature for my age. And I was a New Yorker. So and I spoke English. So I walked in there, and this guy was very cool. I had a beard and a mustache, just like I do now at the age of like 18 years old, 19 years old. And he quizzed me. He said, "You know how to flip a burger?" I said, "Yeah, cha." And he said, "Are you experienced at this?" I said, "Yeah, cha." But he liked me because we looked the same. You know, we both looked like a variation of Jesus Christ. We both had the long hair, bandana, beard, mustache. He looked just like I did. We had some type of kumbaya, whatever that is. I don't even know what I meant. He hired me. And he said, "You can start the next day. That's when we open, and, let's give it a shot." I said, "Fine." So I went in there, and I flipped burgers, man. And I had never flipped a burger before in my life. I did on a barbecue grill a couple of times, back in Teaneck, New Jersey. But on Times Square, no, never flipped a burger in a restaurant, my God. It wasn't so hard. Spatula, frozen meat, on the grill, certain color, turn it over, and put it on a bun. And there was another guy that did the rest of it. He dressed the burger and all. I just made burgers and flipped them. And I never saw a member of the public. There was a wall between the front of the store and the kitchen, and there was a chute that connected the two. Never saw the people. They never saw me. First day, it was wonderful. And it was a good paying job because I was the short order chef, and all I did was flip burgers. It wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad at all. I was excited. Then it comes midnight, and the place is starting to close down. And they closed down at 1 o'clock in the morning, but it was still busy at until 1 o'clock in the morning. We're talking Times Square in New York City, okay? And then they close like at 1 o'clock, which is early for New York City, actually. And I took my apron off because they had an apron, said Broadway Joe Namath right on the front. And Started to hang it up, and the manager comes over and he says, you gotta clean up. I said, okay, like, what do you want me to do? And he said, well, you have to take the grill apart and scrub it down and scrub down the wall on the side of the grill and all that. I said, wait a minute. I thought I was going to be a short order chef, not a cleaner upper. He says, well, you're cleaning up after yourself is what you're doing. I was there till 3:30 in the morning. From 1 o'clock in the morning till 3:30 in the morning, I'm cleaning the stove and the grill and all that stuff. At the end of the day, I called the next day and I said, I'm sorry, but my leg fell off and I can't stand up anymore. No, that's an instance. I didn't say that. I said, this is not working out. I apologized. Thank you so much. Do you want me to come in and I can flip burgers today, but that would have to be the last day. I'm calling them in the morning. You know, they don't open like until like 11:30 or 12 or something. I called them like at 6 in the morning, and he said, no. He says, we can find somebody to flip a burger. It's not a big deal, just like you. So that was it. What was the point of all of that? It wasn't. I worked in a restaurant is my point, and I did it for a day, and so I have an understanding for how hard it is to work in a restaurant. And how I'm amazed at the servers. You order something, they don't write it down. They remember what you ordered. If a table of 10, they remember everybody's order and who gets what. Phenomenal. It's like a juggling act. They're walking over with trays and plates and stuff, and they clear it like that. And I've said, this is amazing. They clear the table themselves. There's no bus boy, bus girl, and there's no buses. So they do a wonderful, wonderful job, and I know that they make less than minimum wage, which is fine because they depend on tips. So I know that, so I tip heavy. I'm talking 25, 30%. I know it's a lot of money, but I get served really nice. Pays for them, pays for me. I'm just saying. I do suggest if you're going to go out and spend money to go to a restaurant, and it is expensive these days to do so for the most part, make the tip part of your expense because, just because it's expensive doesn't mean that the servers should have to take a back seat to that. You tip them well always, unless they do a real crappy job. In some restaurants, they pool their tips, so when you're tipping a particular person, they don't get that particular tip themselves because they did an extraordinary job. There could be some schmuck-ass idiot who really screwed up during the day. They're still getting an equal portion of the tips, and that's not fair, and I don't like that. I want to tip a person, a particular performance, not the whole people's, just a particular person. That's the idea of the tip to me, and sometimes I'll actually ask the waiter or waitress or whatever you call these people. I would always say, like, do you keep the tips? Sometimes they say no, and sometimes they say yes. And if it's no, I still tip high. But I don't like it. I don't like it. All right. That's the Broken Toilet show / I'll Try the Salmon. I hope you enjoyed it. This will yield you nothing in life whatsoever. Maybe we've connected somehow because you've done a lot of the things that I have done or didn't do, or you've gone through some experiences that we have in common. That's how we bond. That's how we do it. You can go to newenglandbroadcasting.com, ronvandam.com. I do a new show every single weekday. We have over 2,800 episodes you can listen to right now until you die. So do that, will you please? I'll be back next week with another episode here on this station. But until that time arrives, I wish you peace.